Hi everyone, this is Lisette with Fuchsia Dolls, and today I'm going to show you how to create these giant craft foam flowers. I've seen these flowers everywhere and I'm in love with them. And what better way to just make them out of foam? For supplies you're going to need the following: foam sheets, scissors, hot glue, acrylic sponge or brush, bamboo skewer, and a flat iron. Let's get started. The template is available in the description box below. Print out the template and you will cut the template and trace it onto your foam sheet. You will need a total of 4 large petals, 4 medium petals, and 4 small petals. I highly recommend you use a nice scissor that is long, not a short scissor. Long scissors help you cut better foam when bigger projects. So use a nice long scissor, and that it'll be nice and sharp too. You don't want dull edges or a dull cut. Cut around and create all your petals. Next, I'm going to add some shading to the petals. I'm using a darker acrylic color than the actual petal itself. And I'm also going to use a sponge. I'm going to sponge down the paint onto the petal. In case you're wondering, I'm using palette paper just to help me clean up my mess. So, dab your sponge onto the acrylic paint and just run it through, smooth it out around the entire edge. You should get a grading effect. You can continue to do it until you get the desired color and the desired look. You can also use a brush and the floating technique. It's really up to you. The petals are pretty large, so I chose to do the sponge effect. Now let's have more fun. With a flat iron, you will curl your edges of the petal. My flat iron is at its hottest setting. And what I did was I placed a hot iron over the petal and let it start to curl. You see, the petal takes a shape of its own. You could help it by pinching the edges. You would also do that to the bottom of the petal, just so it won't be so thick. And of course, add more dimension to it. Next, you will grab your scissor and cut a slit in the center petal. That slit is going to help you glue the petal onto the base. Here I'm repeating the process with larger petals. In case you're wondering about the hot iron, I upgraded my hot iron and I put this one in my craft closet. It is completely retired from personal use. I don't like to mix personal items with my craft items. So that's just me to you. Now cut the base from your templates. You're going to fold it into a triangle shape and pinch the center. This is just a good way to indicate where the center is, and it will help you glue down your petals. Now you're going to glue one side of the bottom edge and overlap the other side. This is going to give it the support it needs to stand and be glued on the base. Let it dry. Now glue down the petal to the base. Make sure the center of the petal matches the center of the base. Now we're going to glue the rest of the petals. We're only working with the large ones now. There's a total of 4. So you would glue them down and use the center as your indicator. Now we're going to glue down the medium petals. You will repeat the same process, but the medium petal will be placed in the center of the 2 large petals in the back. You'll be covering the seam. You repeat the process. Now you work with the small petals. You would do the same exact step, covering the seam of the 2 petals behind it. Now I cut the center, and I also used a hot iron to shape it out a bit. Once it's nice and hot, just place it in the center and let it take a shape. I also sponge it if you notice there is coloring on it, and that's also your choice. Now glue the center down, and now we're going to put a circle in the center. Now I glued a circle in the center just for a finished look. I didn't decide to sponge this one. I kind of just wanted it to have its natural color, for it to stand out a little more. And the flower is complete. Here you will see 2 different colors. This is a smaller flower and is also included in your template. The procedure is exactly the same. I just wanted to create a trio of flowers so I could hang it up in my daughter's room. And there you have it, the final look. And thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and stay tuned for many more. I would like to thank my Patreon members, Frank M, Dana S, and Cindy R. Don't know what Patreon's all about? Well, check my link below in the description box. Also, visit my Etsy shop and follow me on Facebook or Instagram. Until next time, and God bless.